Hari Om. Good morning. Actually, namaskar to every one of you. This is my fourth episode on the inner meanings of temple structure and features. Okay. In this, we will try to complete as much as possible on the topic. Already in the episode 1, 2, and 3, I have actually talked about the human nature and the temple structure, because the temple itself the Indian temples themselves are not merely a place of worship, but they represent a replica, a copy of the human nature, the lower nature and the higher nature. We have got the body, mind, intellect, then Atma. The body and mind, they belong to the lower nature. The buddhi and Atma, they belong to the higher nature within us. So, I told about actually the what you call the Jivatma, the two sides of the Jivatma. The one side is Jiva, the ego. Ego is the Jiva, simply. And the other side is Atma. Whereas Atma is hidden by ego. Just like in solar eclipse, the moon hides the sun, isn't it? Like that, the ego hides the Atma within us. That's it. We have to understand. And we have to understand one more thing before going to the topic. What is the difference between ego and Atma is? The ego is different from person to person, living being to living being. The bodies are different. Even minds are also different. Though minds can link with one another, that is different. But Atma is one and the same. The Atma in me, the Atma in you, or Atma in any living being, whether it is plantation kingdom, whether it is a plant or tree or animal or human beings, the Atma in them, in all of them, is one and common for all. Just like space. See, there is space inside this room, there is space in the next room, there is space outside. Is the space in this room different from the space in the other room or outside space? No. The space is common, isn't it? The space is one homogeneous mass, a vast mass, unlimited mass, isn't it? Homogeneous, what you call emptiness, that space in which everything exists. But it seems to be divided because of the walls of the building, isn't it? Like that, because of the body, the Atma within me and Atma within others seems to be divided. It is only an appearance. It is actually a mistaken notion. It is not the reality. The reality is the Atma in me is Atma in all. The Atma alone is felt by every one of us as I. That is it. Everyone feels as I. Even an animal will feel as I. Even a dog or cat or anything feels I. Because Bhagavan Baba, Satya Sai Baba told, I is the first name of God. I is the first name. I, Aham. That is it. Ahamatma Gutakesha. Yesterday I told this is what you call this Bhagavad Gita verse. Ahamatma Gutakesha. So Atma is really the divine principle. Atma is God. And Atma is no way different from the Paramatma or Parabrahman. Parabrahman is considered to be the ultimate God principle as per our Shastras, as per our Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, etc. Isn't it? That Parabrahman or Paramatma is no way different from the Atma within us. Just because it expresses through every one of us, we say Aham, I. But actually the same Aham expresses through all the living beings. Now let us get into the topic of actually temple. Already I told about actually the front tower. First I gave the example of Srirangam temple, the Rajagopuram, the 14 threshold openings. In the middle, the 14 threshold openings represents the 14 lokas. I told the 7 upper loka and 7 lower lokas. But actually, these threshold openings is not uniform in all the temples. We have to note, and only in Srirangam I could see for the 14 clear-cut what you call openings. Only there in the Tiruchirappalli Srirangam temple. In other places, it is found to be either 6 or 7. Mostly in other temples, we can find either 6 or 7 threshold openings in the tower, in the front tower. Actually, they represent only the higher 7 lokas. Sometimes 6, because the 7th level, what you call Vaikuntha, or the 7th chakra within us called Sahasrara, is not considered to be one of the chakras. It is beyond them. So it is either 6 or 7, like that. And like that, the the 6 chakras within us. We have to note another important things. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraga, Anahata, Vishuddhi and Agnya chakras. Okay. And these chakras, these and Sahasrara along with them, the 7 chakras are represented by actually what you call the 7 upper lokas. The Mooladhara to Sahasrara, the 7 chakras are represented or symbolized by the 7 upper lokas. That is what you call Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, Mahar. Then what you call Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satiloka, like that we say, the 7 upper lokas. Actually, I told these lokas are not different places, different physical places, physical regions, not like that. They are all different realms of existence of the Jiva. The realms where the Jivas express themselves. It is actually even here itself, where we are, we can actually find all the lokas actually intermixed. The difference is only in subtlety. Very, it is very difficult to comprehend. But actually, they are all absolute facts. It is not that actually Vaikuntha is somewhere above the head in the sky. Not like that. God is sitting somewhere above. No. God is all pervasive. The 3 important qualifications of God are He is omniscient, omnipotent and omnipresent. Omnipresent means all pervasive. That's why actually the Prahlada told, when his father asked, where is God? He told, Thunilum irupar, Turumilum irupar. In Tamil it is called. He is in the pillar, he is as well as in the dust. So, God is all pervasive. That is one nature. Second, He is omniscient, all knowing. Third, He is omnipotent, all powerful. God is basically, the Atma or Brahman is basically formless. We have to note. It's another important thing. He is formless, nameless. His name is called as Aham or Om. Om is the calling name for God. Just like we say hello. Somebody we call over phone, we say hello. Like that. Om is the calling name for God. And this is what we call God is basically formless, but He is omnipotent, nothing impossible. He is all powerful, so He can take forms also. That is how He expresses to the devotees, to all of us, what we call the seekers, the seekers in the form of different gods, different deities as Shiva, Shakti, Narayana, Muruga, what you call Vinayaka, like that, etc., Shakti, different principles we are seeing. Even as Jesus, as Allah, different gods in different religions, the same God expresses in different forms. In whichever way, because Bhagavad Gita itself, Lord Krishna says, I am the ultimate God principle, but in whichever way the devotees approach me, I receive them in that form, in that name. That is the beauty of it. When we approach the Lord as Muruga, He receives us as Muruga, He receives. As Shiva, like that. Same. So now, this is enough. Now, I told about actually the 14 openings in the, Gopura tower. Then the Kalasas, they represent the Vaikuntha. Then we enter the enter the temple. First flag mast, which represents the basic Mooladhara chakra. Then Balipita represents Swadhisthana chakra. Then Anahata chakra, Manipura chakra is actually the Vahana, I told. Vahana, in case of Shiva, the Vahana is Pashu. Pashu means, because in Saiva Siddhanta, the stanza comes, Pasu, Pati, Pasam, Anadi. Pati, Pasu, Pasam, Anadi. All the 3 are beginningless. Pati means the Lord. Shiva is called Pati. And Pashu is, every Jiva is called Pashu. So the Vahana represents the Pashu. And the main deity in the Garbagriha, the main shrine, that represents the Atma, the ultimate God principle. And now we have to go to the next aspect, the Prakara, the circumambulation around the Garbagriha. In ancient temple particularly, I told, because only in ancient temples like Ramanathapuram Ramaswamy temple, or this Madurai Meenakshi temple, or Srirangam temple, we can find 3 Prakaras around the Garbagriha. Minimum 3. And I think in Ramanathapuram Rameshwaram temple, the Prakaras, the circumambulations are 5. Please note, it can be verified. Because these 3 Prakaras and 5 Prakaras, I told about the Panchakoshas, The 5 prakaras means the panchakoshas, the 5 layers of a in human nature. That is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya koshas. Food layer, prana layer, mind layer, intelligence layer, and what you call the ultimate Ananda layer and bliss layer. Beyond that is Atma, I told you. So these 5 prakaras in the ancient temples represents the 5 koshas, the 5 layers of in human nature. In other temples, we can find 3 circumambulation, 3 prakaras, the circular path around the Garbagriha. They represent the other classification of human nature as Stula Sukshma Karana Sariras. Stula Sarira is the physical body. I told you, no? Then subtle body is the Sukshma Sarira. Then causal body is the Karana Sarira. So beyond that Karana Sarira is Atma. So for that reason, they actually located Garbagriha inside the 3 circular paths, the 3 circular circumambulations or 5 circumambulations. That is the inner meaning. And another important thing, we put the screens in front of God, deities. What's the meaning of it? Because Krishna himself beautifully tells in Bhagavad Gita, it is the desire which hides the Atma. Atma is actually Jnana Surupa. The embodiment of Atma is Jnana. The embodiment of God is Jnana. Okay, that is it. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. The Mahavakya says Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahmatinuடைய, the Surupa of Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satyam means truth. Jnana means wisdom, or even beyond, it is Chaitanya. Satyam Jnanam Ananta means infinite, endless, limitless. That is the meaning of, that is the description of God. So, the screen we put in front of deities, it represents the desire. Krishna says the desire is located in 3 levels in a human being, at the sense level, at the mind level, and even at the buddhi level. The desire covers even buddhi, mind, and senses. It dominates. One has to overcome. That is the screen above, in front of the jnana, in front of Atma. So that screen we remove, because the screen of desire is to remove, to have the darshan of the Lord within us. That's why even in temples, when we go for puja, etc., when the arti is shown, at the end of arti, we just close the eyes, isn't it? And dwell within, meditate within, isn't it? Is because the real God is within us in the form of Atma in our heart. The external deities in the form of statues, idols, they are all only reflections. Actually, that is a fact. They are all only reflections. But the real God is within us in the form of Atma. That is what our Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shastras, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all of them, all the Mahatmas, Yogis, Jnanis say the same thing. Okay, actually our Hindus, Sanatana Dharma, the followers have to read the scriptures. Reading of scripture is very important. We have to read Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, etc., Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these things. Now, with regard to this Garbagriha, in the Garbagriha, where the main deity is enshrined, it is always, that cell is dark, that room is dark, isn't it? Why it is kept as dark? Because in the heart, because of ignorance, the heart is it is filled with darkness. Darkness means the heart is the symbol. Heart only alone is symbolized by Garbagriha, isn't it? And that Garbagriha filled by darkness, it represents our self-ignorance, Atma Avidya, self-ignorance. That is the darkness in the heart, because I don't know who am I. That is darkness. That is self-ignorance, Atma Avidya. That is it. So that's why we show Aarti to enlighten the Lord within. But the final Aarti, please note, the final Aarti is shown with the camphor. The camphor Aarti alone should be shown as the final Aarti in any temple for that matter. That is the right procedure. And it represents, the camphor represents ego. So the ego nullifying itself enlightens the Lord, illumines the Lord within. That is it. So the ego has to nullify, dissolve. Only when the ego dissolves, the Lord within, in the form of Atma, he is enlightened, he is brightened, his darshan we get. So This is actually the important point we have to understand. So with this, I would like to complete my talk on the inner meanings of temple structures, and there is also inner meanings of the worship methods that we will see in the next episode. Till then, I convey my thanks to every one of you. Thank you. Bye, every one of you. Thank you.